and welcome to our first and only community profile of Millersville. I have a very special guest with me today, but first I'd like to introduce our hosts. I am Cody Wade.
And I'm Kristin Hartley.
And with us we have a very special guest, Dr. Ralph Anttonen.
Nice
How are you
to
doing,
be here.
Doc?
Enjoy this very much.
Now, what is your official title?
Right now,
Right now,
today as we speak,
today as we speak.
I am the chairman of the Department of Academic and Student Development, coordinator of the exploratory program, and advisor to WIXQ.
Quite a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
And so
The
you're...
more you have, the less you do.
Fair enough. Now, you're nearing retirement, aren't you?
Yes, I am leaving as of the end of this semester, but the official retirement date, January 11th, 2013.
How many years will that have been for you?
41.833333 years. That's what it says on my retirement paper. I'm only going by what I read.
Excellent, excellent. Now, what would you say has been your most profound contribution to Millersville?
Well, keeping the radio station student run for 36 years, starting from scratch the exploratory program and having it continue for 27 years. So those are my two outs that I value the most.
Can you give us a little bit more information on the exploratory program?
Well, it started out in 1986 with 15 of my friends, and I had 15 friends in those days, not anymore. But I had 15 friends who volunteered to work with 147 undecided students, and it just grew. And because more and more kids were coming undeclared, it just took off, and the rest is history. So it all started with the administration asking me to develop a program. So they're the guilty ones, not me.
Were you always interested in working with kids? What was your major in undergraduate?
Lousy math major, very
Lousy
bad.
math major.
Yeah, I did not do well. And I started out a physics major, was that for a year, then I became an English major, was that for a year. I even took to smoking a pipe and having patches on my sleeve, on my sport jacket.
Elbow patches, right?
The elbow patches, remember those elbow patches? I had those. I graduated as a math major with full intentions of being a teacher of high school math and a basketball coach, and so returning to my old high school and being the basketball coach where I played. That was my goal in those days.
But your goal changed. What happened in graduate school?
Well, that was a whim.
Why not?
Yeah, I said, why not go to graduate school? So I applied to, this is how bad I was. I started out thinking, I don't want to go in the real world and work. That scared me. So a guy at Tufts, Dr. John Newell, said, with your math degree, you'd be perfect to go into this new program in ed research. I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, apply to some state schools. So I applied. Got accepted at the University of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and I thought University of Pennsylvania was a state school. That's how dumb I was. So I got accepted there too until I realized I couldn't afford that. So I was married, I packed up Mama, and we went off to the University of Minnesota.
Now, Mama, when did you get married to her?
I got to get this right. June 9th, 1962, my senior year of college.
Oh, that's been a while.
June 9th, 1962. We've been married 50 years.
All wedded bliss.
Yeah, I mean, the woman loves me, and I love her. What more is there, right?
Right on, right on.
I mean, you want me to? No, okay.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. That'll do.
You want to know about my grandchildren? You could ask me about that. I love my grandchildren.
Yeah, sure.
I got 9 of them.
9 grandchildren.
9 grandchildren.
How many children do you have?
2.
So you're telling me your 2 children have fostered 9.
They actually gave birth to 3.
Okay.
3 are Guatemalan, 2 are Korean, and 1 is Chinese.
And you're the grandpa to them all.
You bet you believe it. I'm the one that supplies the money. That's what grandfathers do. They give money.
So you've obviously had a lot of successes and failures too.
Oh.
Tell me about your failures.
Well, let's see. I got denied tenure at Case Western for being arrogant and stirring the pot. I got thrown out of the School of Education at Millersville, and that's what led me to develop all these programs. Every one of them turned out, what did WCF say? I forgot to thank him. The dean threw me out. I forgot to thank him.
Excellent. Now, what would you say has been your contribution to WIXQ? Tell me more about this radio station I've been hearing about.
When I became advisor, it all started, again, on a whim.
Just a whim.
I was doing a dance for that time, the library sorority in the SMAC. And the DJ there, J.J. Williams, saw me. He was working, and he happened to be the program director of WMSR, which is Carrier Current. And he said, how'd you like to do a show with oldies? Now this is what, 75? So we're talking 50s oldies in 75. I said, sure, I'll do that. So I came down to the station. They put a guy, I got to do an oldies show. They trained a student to run the board because I refused to run the board. These hands don't work. These hands can't do anything. But this still works. Okay? So I became doing the show, and then it just happened. And then the kids needed a new advisor, and I volunteered to do it without knowing what I was getting myself into. It started with 15 students, and now it has over 100. It's gone from carrier current to 10 watt to 100 watt to stereo to streaming audio, all in that period.
Wow. And you still do a radio show too?
Yeah, Doc and Mama Rock. We've been doing that since 1979.
What do you play on? What can I hear on?
There's only one type of music that Doc loves in the world. No, I love all music, but oldies.
Oldies.
But goodies.
Oldies but goodies.
The sounds of the 50s, the early 60s, and anything I deem to sound like the 50s and 60s.
You always end with the same song. What is that song?
Well, I have three endings.
Three endings.
Three endings. We start with Rock Around the Danny and the Juniors saying, rock and roll is here to stay. You won't kill it. You won't kill it. It's here to stay. We end with this dance song that ended every dance Mama and I ever went to, the Teenage Goodnight. Do you want me to sing it?
No,
you
okay.
don't. And on a positive ending, we end with Happy Days.
Happy days.
And remember, who loves you? Doc and Mama do.
Excellent. So you've been here for a while. You've seen countless students come through. How would you say the students 40 years ago compared to the students today?
Students today are spoiled. They have everything. We didn't have anything 40 years ago. We didn't have YouTube videos. We didn't have cell phones. We were lucky to even have a car. Today, these are the new normal. Students today expect to have a car, a cell phone, Twittering, Skyping, everything.
You don't even know what those are, I'm sure.
No. And if you had told me we'd be streaming audio around the world in that time, I would have laughed at you. I've seen tremendous change. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of today's students are very good and they're very hardworking. But this is called the entitlement generation. You're entitled to things. Kristin will expound on that more, right? No, Kristin doesn't want to expand on that. But we see a lot of students who really don't understand when it was tough. You know, the old saying, back when I went to school, it's true. Up and down, back and forth, uphill both ways.
So what would you say to someone that's just about to come to college and they're not sure? They're not sure yet if they want to make the leap. Should they come to college?
Well, we have made a college degree basically a high school diploma. So we are basically, everyone's got to go to college. You hear the literature. If you go to college, you make more money, yada, yada. You know the literature. We've almost made it so that you've got to get an advanced degree to get anywhere. Almost.
So are you telling me that the head of the Department for the Exploratory Program is saying maybe you shouldn't go to college?
I didn't say that, Cody. You're putting words in my mouth. I think there's nothing wrong with an educated populace. The more education that the world has, or the country has, the better it should be, right? You agree with that statement?
Yeah, sure.
So there's nothing wrong with educating people. But now we've tied it into the job market with the economy, and there's the mistake. We're not here to train you for a job. We're here to educate you and give you a good critical thinking skills, problem solving skills. And if you talk to the economists, we should really be doing well right now because only the best will get jobs. That's what the economics says, supply and demand, guns and butter. Guns and butter. I mean, if you're good, and set yourself apart from everybody, you'll get a job. It's just there's a lot of people looking for the same job.
So do you have any advice for new students coming to Millersville University?
Yeah. Get involved. Make sure you just don't go to class. Get to meet people. Networking is crucial. Network at all costs. And set yourself apart from everybody else.
And this is coming from one of the most experienced men from Millersville University.
Thank you, Kristin.
Is there anything that you're going to miss about your position, about Millersville, about college in general?
I'm not leaving. See, the fallacy is I'm really going. I'm not. I'm going to continue doing videos. I'm going to be a mentor. I'm going to have a union office where I raise money for the union scholarships. I'm going to announce the basketball games. I'm going to announce the volleyball games. So I'm really not going, but I am leaving formally. I won't be on paper.
Well, Doc's convinced me. I'm coming back as the head of the department for the exploratory
You can
program.
have it.
I can have it. Doc's convinced me. We want to thank him for giving a great interview.
Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Kristin. Do you have an ending, or do I have to end this one too?
That was my ending.
That was it? That was pretty bad.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to an old man, 73 years old, talk about life. Thank you for listening. Cody should have done that, not me.
Thank you for listening.